The next panelist is Elżbieta Kuzborska-Pacha, who is a legal advisor to the OSCE High Commission on National Minorities.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Dear Special Rapporteur, Madam President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Studies suggest that there is a correlation between gender equality and the stability of states, and that a lack of women's empowerment can be an indicator of conflict risks. This provides a strong argument for the OSCE HCNM, with its conflict prevention mandate, to pay further attention to the participation of minority women in political and public life. At the same time, meaningful participation in political and public life is impossible without a quality education. For women from minority background, there are even more standards in order to fully participate in public life, and they are much higher than standards for men. Women need to be fully fluent in the official language, in addition to their mother tongue. Their loyalty to the state is questioned continuously, as for the majority. With female public figures, there is a focus on their appearance, family status, and religious beliefs, while these are not in the focus for male public figures. In the Office of High Commissioner on National Minorities, when we talk about the participation of all social groups, this is not restricted to ethnicity. It is incumbent upon us to remind everyone of the barriers that women and girls still face. We believe that truly inclusive policies are also gender mainstreamed policies, and we are increasingly trying to look through this lens in our work. There is a correlation between gender equality and stability of states. Girls' education should be a strategic development priority for every government. Better educated women tend to be healthier, participate more in the formal labor market, earn higher incomes, enable better health care and education for their children. All these factors combined can help lift households, communities, and all societies out of poverty. They boost national economies. The HCNM's initiatives in education include efforts to empower girls of minority background. Our Central Asia Education Program started in 2012. The main beneficiaries of the program are schoolgirls with a national minority background who are mainly attending the pilot schools with minority language of instruction. It is often the case that after completing the 9th grade, they would leave school, get married, or get sent to vocational schools. With the introduction of the MLE programs in these schools, the number of pupils, including girls graduating with a total of 11 years of education, has increased significantly. This has also been demonstrated by comparatively higher scores in the university entry exams, and consequently, a higher number of schools graduates, including girls, becoming enrolled in higher education. Pilot school teachers, kindergarten educators, and specialists are also the MLE program beneficiaries. Most of the recipients, actually 95% of our capacity building activities, are women. Our trainings contribute to strengthening their professional skills and self-confidence. Here, I would like to draw your attention to the problem of education reforms. Governments must act with due care when implementing the reforms of the minority education, especially if it includes the reduction of the number of minority schools. The vast majority of teachers in minority schools are women belonging to national minority. The closure of schools often leaves teachers, women from minority background, without further opportunities for employment. I would like to draw attention of the governments to this problem and call for due diligence in introducing education reforms that reduce the number of minority teachers. We believe it's important to build a safe and inclusive learning environment for girls and young women. States should address the exclusion of minority girls in education. Recommendations of the Forum of Minority Issues of 2008 are still relevant and clear. The existence of local customs that restrict the free movement of girls and women does not relieve the states of its responsibility to guarantee access to education for minority girls. Our actions regarding the reduction of barriers that minority girls face in education should be twofolded. Not only do we need to implement measures that empower girls and women, but also we need to combat negative stereotypes and promote equality. We believe that the educational curricula should not include materials that stereotype or demean minorities, including compounded stereotyping of minority girls and women, on the basis of both the nationality or ethnic belonging and their sex. That's why our office supports the production of the educational materials that are age and gender sensitive. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to join our forces to reduce the obstacles minority girls and women face in education caused by poverty, cultural norms and practices, poor infrastructure and violence. We have to join our forces with governments, civil society organizations, multilateral organizations, the private sector to advance multi-sectoral approaches to women's empowerment in access to education, in political, in economic life. These steps are crucial from the human rights of minorities perspective, but also for further economic growth and prosperity of our societies. My recommendations for the states would be to introduce the measures that support the right to education for girls and women of minority background, to gather gender-specific education statistics, to raise awareness among minority communities concerning the importance of education rights for girls, to enable young mothers, including of minority background, to return to schools, to recruit and train teachers who are sensitive to gender and child rights, to take special measures in education to reach the most disadvantaged minority girls. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Elżbieta. The efforts undertaken by the OEC HCNM to empower women and girls with a minority background that you referred to in your presentation are of a high relevance. I would like now to pass